Lydia, what are you doing?
Look at. Look at.
Are you making dinner?
Yes.
What are you cutting?
Cat.
Carrots?
Yes. Go.
You do it all?
Yep.
Yay, well done, Lydia. You did them all. Hello, so today I have two different thoughts to share. One is about the Bible and one is about the story of Naaman. So this last week and a half, well, kind of 2 weeks, but it's been a little bit strange. There's been a lot of sickness going around, and Johan's been sick. Lydia was sick kind of for a week, and Esther and Joe were sick. They kind of all took turns being sick, so I've hardly been to school or preschool or done the usual things that I do at Little Haven for like the last 2 weeks. That means I've been at home all the time, but I haven't been sick myself. So in between looking after my family, two things that I've done while I've been at home is to learn Dutch, because I'm having Dutch lessons, and also to work on some picture books. So picture books for children. So I'm going to share how that relates to my thoughts. But the first one is about Naaman. So Naaman, he came to Elijah and he came to get healed, and he had his expectation of how that was going to happen. He had his grand expectation how Elijah was going to come out with lots of respect for him and just kind of heal him on the spot. And yet God's way was different. God's way was for him to go down to the river, to go under 7 times, and when he did that, he would be healed. And Naaman got really angry and said, right, I'm going home then. He was so angry. And I was just thinking how sometimes we can be a little bit the same. We want God to do things our way, and if he doesn't do it our way, then sometimes we don't even want to do it. Now that's kind of shocking, but I've seen that in myself in a few different things, because sometimes God's way is harder than what we think. And yet with Naaman, God's way was humbling. He had to go down to the river. It was not grand like what he expected. So he had to humble himself. He had to obey. He had to obey God's instructions. If Elijah had just come out and said, be healed, he wouldn't have needed to obey anything. He also kind of needed to trust God's promise, because he was doing something kind of a little bit silly. He had to trust that God would keep his word and do what he said he would do. It also took time. He had to go under 7 times. I don't know why he had to go under 7 times, but you know, it took time. It wasn't instant, which is what he expected. And sometimes that is God's way. Sometimes it takes longer than what we expect. And if you're impatient like me, you want answers to your prayer or whatever it is like that. But sometimes God's way takes time. Sometimes it's hard because we have to trust God's promise, because we can't see it yet. So we have to trust. Like, I don't think Naaman saw any healing until the 7th time. So he had to trust. We have to obey God's word. It's not just, might not be an instant thing. We have to obey what God tells us to do. And God's way may be very humbling, but it's good for us to be humbled. But the way that we expect things to happen is often more in a grand way. So with Naaman at first, it was my way or the highway. But thankfully he humbled himself, and he still had the same end result. He still got healed, but it was more in a humbling way. And often that is the way God answers our prayers or does special things for us. It can be more in a humbling way, and yet the end result is still the same. So the other thing, so I've been learning Dutch, and I've been having Dutch lessons. So one thing I've done to try to help me learn all the words that I'm supposed to memorize is to write them out on bits of paper. So I write the Dutch word on one side and then like the English word on the other side, and then I can try to test myself. So I was writing out some words the other day, but I hadn't actually learned the words yet. So when I'd pick out a word, when I would look at it, it would have absolutely no meaning to me. I was like, my mind is just blank when I look at that word. And yet when I look at English words, straight away words or pictures or feelings or whatever come into my mind. Yet when I look at the Dutch words, I would just have this blank. And at the same time, I've been making this picture book. One of the picture books I've been making is about the Bible, and every page is a different thing that God's word is like a different picture. Say like one is light, God's word is a light. God's word is food for our souls. It's like a drink. It's like a telephone. You know, God talks to us. But I was thinking, like, when we think of the word Bible, what comes to our mind? Is it like Dutch that not much comes to your mind when you think of the word Bible, or do you think of words like comfort, or hope, or help, or wisdom, or encouragement? What comes to your mind when you think of the Bible? Because if those kind of things don't come to your mind, then maybe you don't know it very well, or you don't, you need to get to know it and to read it more. Just like Dutch words don't mean much to you until you get to learn them and to know them. But God's word is all of that. It is full of comfort, it's full of hope, it's full of encouragement, wisdom, help. It is a light, it is food, it is drink. It is like a phone where God speaks to us. And I was just thinking too, like just thinking through each one of these things is way more than this, but even just light, usually I think of God's word being a light as in it shows us what to do. But I was thinking how light, like it's kind of frightening if you don't have any light. If it's dark all the time, you have no light, it is scary. I'm personally a little bit scared of the dark. So for me, the word light, I think of kind of comfort or safety or security. And so that's what the Bible is as well. It would be very scary to live in this world without the Bible. So what do you think of the Bible? What comes to your mind, and are you using it? Can I see Lydia? Lydia wanted what I had with my Dutch words. So we made her some words. Can you read a word?
Yeah.
What word is that one? Show me. Can you show me? Oh, you wrote that one yourself. What does it say?
Log.
Log. What about that one? What's that one?
The cat.
What?
Dog.
Dog?
Yeah.
What's that word, Lydia?
Mop.
Mop?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Mom.
Mom, yes. What's the next one?
Bus.
Bus.
Yeah. I'm calling. Bus. Stop.
Well done.
Come on up.
And tidy up.
Come on. Your face. Mop. Bat. Bat. Oh, come on, bat.
Oh, I think that one's pot.
Pot. Pot.
Pot. Where's pot? Yeah.
Pot.
Hello, Bananas. What's all the rush?
We're off to stay at Rat's Retreat.
Rat's Retreat?
Lots of important people stay there.
You lucky Bananas.
So we won't bother you at all, because we know you're busy.
Busy? We're just off to have a picnic at the lake. As soon as we find Morgan.
Rat. When I got my hot dad.